My name is Ethan Messere. I'm the Assistant Director for Presenting and Touring at South Arts. That means I work about 60% on this conference and about 40% in our other programs for grants, presenter assistance, all that good stuff.
And if you were an artist, what are some good reasons to think about coming to check out PAE?
This is really an avenue for touring and getting your work seen. I think when a lot of people get started as an artist, they don't ever think about that, and they never learn how you should make money as an artist. You know, a lot of people who have conservatory type training spend all this time in a practice room, and they spend all this time doing music theory, and they never really learn about business. And it's something that so many people have to learn on the fly, but this is really the avenue for getting your work seen if you're going to tour. You know, many of them might go, oh, maybe I need an agent eventually, but so many of them come to be like my wife, who is a freelance musician, and she jokes that she's a highway musician. She freelances with all these symphony orchestras and stuff. And then, as what started out as a side project, she got together with a few friends and made a cello quartet called Celli. And, you know, they started kind of getting cool gigs around town and, you know, getting some attention and playing more rep and growing. And, you know, for groups like this, they really have no idea about what you do once you get to that point. You know, except for, you know, my wife's my wife, so she knows I work on this conference. But they're all musicians. They all spend a lot of time practicing. They all spend a lot of time teaching. But in terms of what's next, there was no training for this. So, I mean, it's important to get artists to these conferences just for professional development, to really understand the relationships between presenters and agents and artists, and also to get a chance to get their work seen. You know, we have over 100 showcases at these conferences, and, you know, when people see something great, or they see something that their community would like, or that they think they can sell, this is where they make those connections. This is where it all starts.
And what was the career path that brought you to this position?
So, like my wife, I'm also a musician. I went to music school for performance, and I went to grad school for performance. And between the two of us, I was a little burned out after grad school, and I was sort of thinking about maybe things other than being a musician finally. And we thought it might be nice for one of us to have a paycheck every 2 weeks, which is nice during the summer where there seem to be fewer gigs. And so I actually interned at South Arts. I got an arts administration internship, and Leland was relatively new at that point and just needed some help. And so they opened up a program assistant position, and I started out as a program assistant, just working on the conference. And eventually my role grew to be a little more programmatic and to help a little bit with other programs as well. And, you know, I got promoted, and now I'm the assistant director. This is my 5th show.
Do you find that your both experience and background and education in the arts is an asset to doing the job?
I think it's very helpful. You know, if anything, I like to think it's not my job to judge art, but I know, I see art and I judge it a little bit, and I know what a lot of these people who've worked really hard, what they've gone through to get to this point, to come with a product that looks like what it looks like. You know, it's so much work to get a product that's polished enough to be seen on the stage of a performing arts center, and I think that helps. I think, yeah, I mean, I think just being in the arts world and speaking the language really helps, and I've had to learn all the other stuff.
And is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
Just that, you know, this is an entire world that people are unaware of. There are all these conferences. There's 3 of them. There's the conference season sort of starts out on the West Coast, and then there's Arts Midwest, which really covers the middle United States in their conference region, and then there's us, and people are the agents, managers, musicians, presenters might all end up at the World of Bluegrass after this, or there's another Mid-Atlantic arts market. This is where people come to make connections, to see their colleagues, to get really critical professional development, and then they might all go tie up any loose ends at the national conference, APAP, at the beginning of the year. And this is a huge industry, and it's funny, nobody knows about it. Try explaining this job to somebody. I sent 2 of my best friends pictures at the last conference we were at, and I got back and they were like, I don't understand what you do at all. Because nobody knows about this part of the industry. So it's cool, and more people should know what it takes to program work, and what artists have to go through to get their work toured and to get it seen. It's a whole business.
So when you come to the conferences every year,
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about not so much necessarily the what, but the length of your workday.
Whew, boy. So,
And how many breaks you get.
Our attendees get here Monday. My work really starts on site on Saturday. And then it's all day Sunday, and it's funny, I have my iPhone app. Now your iPhone tells you how many miles you walk. So before the conference even started, anybody else got here, on Sunday I walked 6 miles. Just in the conference center, 6 miles. And then and it was all day. I got called about our staging at 8:30 in the morning and showed up to the convention center at 9:30 in the morning, and I worked until dinner time, whenever that was. We all kind of had our dinner and wrapped a few things up, emails in the hotel room afterwards, and then Monday is just all day. I walked another 6 miles in our conference footprint. I got here at about 8 in the morning. I did our juried showcases in the evening. I think I took... No. That's the opening party. So yeah, I worked registration all day. I lugged our badges over for the opening party and kind of handed those out and hobnobbed a little bit and got a little bit of food. And then, since it was the first night of juried showcases, I connected with our security person at, I guess, around 8:30 and introduced him to everybody to make sure all our independent showcase producers were taken care of, and I really stopped working around 9 o'clock. So, yeah, I guess it was like a 14, 15-hour day with not a whole lot of break in there. And then, Tuesday's about the same. I walked fewer miles. Because I was working registration most of the day, and but it was the same thing, work registration, do my emails early in the morning before anybody gets there in case anybody has any problems, go to the luncheon, go to the juried showcases. That's a little bit of fun work for me, and then we get a dinner break, and I checked up on the independent showcases again, because there were a few new producers producing that night. And then, it peters off a little bit after that. Wednesday is a little easier. It's also get up, check my email at 7 a.m., work registration, go to the showcases, and then everybody's kind of good after that. And luckily on Thursday, it's, I'm done. Well, I get up early again, check my emails. I got no emails, because the conference is mostly over, and then conference is officially over at noon. It took another couple hours for us to pack up everything that had to be shipped home, and now we'll do some debrief work here, and then we get to relax finally.
Well, you guys certainly keep a very busy schedule, and it's very obvious that all of you are very committed and dedicated to making the entire conference a great success for everyone.
I think we enjoy ourselves, and we want everybody to see great art. We want it to get to the communities.